I'm gonna get back when I feel like, when I feel like, when I feel like, when I feel get back when I feel like.
Richard, fantastic to have you here on the studio. What are some of your first memories of cricket?
Crikey, it's my dad really. So my dad was the one that played himself. I think I went down, I was born in January, so it must have been 4 or 5 months and I was straight to the cricket ground. But very much been there, Cannock Cricket Club, which is in the Midlands in the UK. My dad played Saturday, Sunday. It was back in an era when everybody played Saturdays, everybody played Sundays, same people. And we had a really amazing community of kids and adults and everything. So I have really, really happy memories of being at Cannock when I was a little kid and growing up. And all the lads that I played cricket with played hockey as well, because it's a big hockey club. So we just did everything together. So really happy memories, and that's what got me into cricket in the first place.
Did you play school cricket as well, or was it always a club?
No, I played school cricket. I went to Wolverhampton Grammar School, and actually this probably the second most influential person in my whole cricket career was one of the teachers there, a chap called Theo King. He took me sort of under his wing, saw I had a little bit of talent when I was 11 or 12. I was already playing a little bit of county stuff for Staffordshire, but yeah, he really was influential. He had a position with the England team at the time as a kind of the kit man for them. Got me in bowling at them when I was 14, 15, when it was the 95 Ashes, I think. Got me to Edgbaston bowling in the nets. So yeah, I was really lucky to go to that school and have him there really. So I played all the way through school. And then yeah, all the way through the club stuff as well.
Yeah, and it's incredible to reconnect with you now thanks to this, but obviously you played in Australia where we first met.
Yeah, I've been to Australia a couple of times. Just before we met, I played in Sydney for 6 months for a team called Hurstville, at Hurstville, called St George, which was brilliant. We played some incredible, well, it was Brett Lee's year he got into the Australian team. It was my first game against the Lee brothers. But then I came to Perth because I'd moved to Hampshire, and that's where Paul Terry had his academy. So I was set up at Melville, playing seconds or thirds because I only came for sort of 6 weeks. I think Chris Tremlett was in the first team, Dimmy Mascarenas was in the first team, so they had plenty of bowlers. But yeah, so I was there for 6 or 8 weeks training, and that's when we met.
Yeah, fantastic. And now with the NCCA, tell me about your role there and what the vision is.
So I'm operations director. I've been there, it'll be 4 years next month. I started as operations manager sort of 3 days, and it's kind of built up to a full-time role. It could absolutely be 7 days a week, 24/7, because there's lots and lots of stuff to do, loads of opportunities for us to grow. Our fundamental job is to deliver a cricket programme for the sort of pinnacle of recreational cricket. So we have a T20, 1 day, 50 over and 3 day competition that run throughout the year. And we're basically set up for the best players who aren't playing first class cricket. So there's a couple of things. We want to make sure that there's an opportunity for people who aren't playing professionally to play at the highest standard that they want to play at, but also then to be a really good pathway into the first class game for younger players that have maybe missed out on academies, or players that have been in part of a first class team, dropped out of that, to give them a sort of the launch pad to go back in really with some really good quality cricket. So our vision is to make that better every year, and definitely get into women and girls cricket. If we can have the men's and the women's cricket working simultaneously, I think that's a really big opportunity for us. There's obviously a lot of investment going into the women's game. It's growing rapidly, both from the success of the women's cricket team, but also the women's football and other sports that are growing so quickly. So I think we've got a really key role to play in that as well.
Yeah, and big shout out and thank you to Paul Bedford from the ECB, because he was the one that connected us to make it a focus, because yeah, it provides lots of opportunities across the board. And then we've seen some of your players playing at high levels already.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually have used this tournament to sort of reignite our representative team. So last winter, or the winter before, we had a player ID day, we called it, just before the season, where we invited all the first class coaches to come and watch the lads. So we're extending that to 3 sessions now, January, February, March, ahead of the season. And we're going to try and get some more fixtures in for the rep team, and then it all kind of builds up to the end of the season when we come here. So this has been a really fantastic tool for us to use and focus on to get this team back together. So yeah, big thanks to Bedders. I work a lot with him back in the UK on lots of different things. But yeah, this tournament's been a really amazing launch for that really. So yeah, thanks to you actually for giving us the opportunity as well.
No, it's our pleasure. No, you bring in an incredible other angle to cricket. A very professional pathway-driven approach, which challenges you guys if you're playing against cricketers that have a different approach to the game. So it's fantastic. And I guess you're trying to develop 4-day cricketers as well as short-form cricketers, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're one of the only cricketing bodies that plays multi-day cricket, so we have to make sure that we really cherish that. It's kind of our test cricket, so we really don't ever want to get rid of that. But we know that the better opportunities for our players in the first instance are in the white ball game, so we have to focus on that, and we do that at the start of the season. We specifically have our tournaments lead into the first class tournaments as well, so T20 at the start, just before the Blast. We have the 50 over competition just before the Metro Bank. And then we have our 3-day stuff at the end for a number of reasons. One, wickets are generally better. Summer holidays, we've got a lot of teachers and stuff that play, so because that goes Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, people have to have time off work as well, so we have to bear those things in mind.
Yeah, for me, and the Ashes always reiterates this in any test series, that test cricket is the best cricket, and for me T10 is the best short form. So to sort of barbell an approach where you're playing T10 and aspiring and playing test cricket, you become better cricketers, better people, and better at expressing your talents in the game, the way I feel for it anyway.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think this competition certainly opened our eyes to lots of different things, and actually we went away after year one and said that it actually feels like a completely different game, because the boundary size, the way players who are around Europe play the game, having played it a lot. So it was this really steep learning curve, but one that I certainly enjoyed. I know Tom Lambert, our head coach, relishes that. You've got to learn on your feet. Dan Lincoln's been great as well, and that's why we've kind of stayed with that team as well, because a team of captain and coach, because you need that experience coming back here. We found it really tough last year with a lot of new players. It takes time to adjust, and we didn't have that last year. But it's a fantastic game to test your skills, and ultimately you're bowling a cricket ball and you're hitting a cricket ball. You just got to do it in slightly different ways and react really quickly to things. So I think those things can only stand you in good stead for playing the longer format.
Yeah, I think when you played against the Belgians in the first year you were here, and their impression of the game was to try and hit a 6 every 2 balls. And that's what you had to come up against. And then last year with the Dutch, there's 6 cricketers in that squad that are now playing in a Cricket World Cup. So it's an incredible, and it's fascinating the way that Tom thinks about the game as well. Because obviously coming with approach and then having to think and change and adapt as it goes is, it must be an exciting time when the boys are back in the rooms and talking about how to approach their sport.
It is, and actually what I was really pleasantly surprised with all 3 sets of players is they all love cricket. And like, you go into a group, if they were sat at the hotel or by the pool, and they'd be talking about cricket all the time, and it's great. It really invokes that conversation and talking about what worked well for them, and you get pockets of players together, but you get the batters and the bowlers talking as well, because they want their different opinions. So it's a really great game to do that, and you have to, like I said, you have to think fast. We come up against the Belgians and it was just a massive eye opener, and it's tough to play against, and it's great experience for these guys to play on telly, in cameras, in pressurised situations, so you take that away with you. And we've had, as you mentioned earlier, we've had 4 players that have come out on this trip that are playing first class cricket now, and they're all doing well. Jaffa Chowan last year had a tough time of it in the final, and in a couple of other games, but that's built his character, I suppose. So when he's played, he's done really well, and he's been part of a franchise this year, so it's definitely really good preparation. I've got high hopes for a couple of the lads that are here for sure.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And now seeing, as the event grows well, families and children coming in watching it here live at the ground as well. But it must be wonderful to see, be able to watch the TV at home and see you guys and the replays and the highlights that are hopefully inspiring more and more cricketers back in England and in Wales to want to be here and want to play for England and go for the highest levels.
Yeah, absolutely. And we obviously we've been promoting it for weeks actually with bios of the players, and we did our preparation for this year has been better than any other. We picked a team earlier. We had a selection day where we got 22 lads that were really in the mix for getting in the squad. We had that day, and then we've had training days, or Tom's been holding training days in the lead up to this. So it's that's from a preparation perspective. But yeah, having that coverage at home is great. All the lads obviously are telling everybody that they're on telly. I had my son texting me the other day saying, "Are you wearing a blue shirt? I think I saw you." So it's really great, and that's all about the experience, isn't it? And giving those guys a platform as well to show what they can do, not only as a team in England doing well, but individually when people put in great performances. It's nice to have that.
Yeah, well, we want to create heroes. You know, when you're a youngster, when I was a youngster, it was all about watching our heroes and wanting to be like our heroes. And your guys, your players are like heroes to many back home now, which is super exciting. And I just think, you know, from an ECB and an England perspective, to come here and give it a chance, you know, give a new format a chance, to give a new, you know, playing in Spain a chance. So yeah, really, really appreciative of that, and really grateful for what you've brought to it, because the professional, you know, approach, the level of cricket, fantastic, and you as a person and Tom and Dan have been a fantastic core to take it forward, and hopefully this continues for the very long term. Make cricket in Europe better, make cricket in England better with our own little way, and drive the whole project forward. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we love coming over, and over the last 3 years, year one, it certainly wasn't a punt, so to speak, but it was an unknown completely. And then you go back and you talk to players, and word spreads quickly. So it goes from us getting a team together for the first year to then now having selection days and nominations and people phoning us up saying, right, how do I get on that team? How do I come over? How do I come over? So it's we're definitely spreading the word about what happens here. I don't think we particularly need to now. Everybody knows about it, which is brilliant, but we will continue to do that because we want to keep coming over. It's a great experience for me personally and all the lads, and we hopefully leave this tournament slightly better for whatever reason, whether that's on the field or off the field. Anything we can do to help grow the sport. It's obviously what we do in the UK. We want more people playing. The ECB Inspiring Generation strategy says exactly that, so we support that, obviously being a stakeholder. And if we can do that around Europe, then yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and I think if you know, there's going to be finals weeks that will continue, and it'll potentially see you guys come up against the Irish Development Academy. You're going to make them better. They're going to make you guys better as well, and then playing potentially against Jersey, who have already qualified here. You know, this is going to be some incredible cricket. You know, played with cricket communities that you don't often play against that are actually very close to you. Yeah,
absolutely, and we've got to do it first, but if we can get to next week, it's going to be great. I think the standard's going to be brilliant. I think the standard's getting better every year. Yeah. Obviously, we have new teams in, so they're probably just building up their confidence and learning how to do it. But I think, like you said, you can learn from everybody. Either watching it previously or learning on task is something you have to do here anyway. So yeah. It's a great opportunity to grow your ability and grow your network as well.
Yeah, and your players, are many of them playing football in the off season as well?
We've got one of them who plays a high standard, our captain. He's a goalkeeper. I'm not sure who's playing for this winter, but he got to play against Wrexham last year, so all the furore that was going on with all them last year with their two Hollywood stars, he said that was quite good fun. But yeah, he's a really good footballer. I actually saw one of the other lads pick a ball up today, and I think he might play a bit. Arthur Godsall in the past, he's been on Brentford's books as well. So I think because of the amateur side of our cricket in national counties, the boys do a lot of stuff. I personally played hockey in the winter. I used to come back fitter at the start of the cricket season than I finished it. But we've got a lot of our guys that play lots of different sports.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. You can see the sports lovers, fit, young, healthy, happy guys, and we love having you here. So thanks again, Richard.
No,
appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.